Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So, it's that time again. A new pack has been announced, this time Expansion Pack 10, Snowy Escape, and I already uploaded my reaction video, so go ahead and watch that if you want to, if you haven't already seen it. But this video is going to be about more info on Snowy Escape, including a blog post and some screenshots and a couple of things that I wanted to point out in the trailer that I didn't point out in my reaction video. The first thing that I wanted to point out from the trailer that I missed is the new food. I can't believe I missed the new sushi there. There's at least 2 different kinds. So that's pretty awesome, and just in general, the food looks really good. I have a good feeling about this pack in terms of food. At least I could use that anywhere, even if this pack does end up being a mostly isolated experience like Island Living. I also just wanted to throw in a little bit of speculation because I did mention the vending machines, but I didn't think about, well, what if they actually brought back the vending machine death from The Sims 3? It was a pretty brutal one, and, well, they did bring back the death by flies from The Sims 2 and Eco Lifestyle, so I would not mind a Sims 3 death returning this time. Next up is a tweet from Sledding Guru Frost. Yup, thank goodness. Sim Guru Frost is no longer redacted, but he says, Simmers, we know you're eager to learn more about Sims 4 Snowy Escape, and we'll have a lot more info to share/show during our live stream on October 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific Time with host Sim Guru Graham, so please save your questions until then. Hope to see you there. I'm very glad they are doing a gameplay livestream this time, since they did not do one for the Star Wars game pack. It made me a bit worried that this was going to be the start of a new trend where they were going to keep the pack more secret until you started seeing videos from Game Changers. But thankfully, nope, that is not the case. And I'm glad that Simguru Graham is the host because I think it's been quite a long time since we have seen him doing a live stream. So yeah, good to see that he's back. Now let's move on to the key features of this pack. Yeah, not speculation anymore. These are the official ones. So, chase your thrills. Test your sim skill and endurance with activities on the mountainside. Grab skis for a downhill ride. Strap on a snowboard to shred, or bundle up on a sled with another sim. Prefer going up? Build their rock climbing skill and challenge your sim to reach the mountain peak during daring, sometimes dangerous excursions. I'm so glad that rock climbing is its own individual skill. We were actually talking about that in my live stream yesterday, and how just because you're very fit does not mean that you'll be good at rock climbing right away. So good to know that they have thought about that. Then we have Find Your Zen. Let your Sims worries float away in the natural hot springs, then unwind over hot pots around the kotatsu table, or socialize while hiking through bamboo forests and snowy terrain. Bask in the serenity of mindful walks and soothing music to take control of your emotions and discover your inner zen. The kotatsu table is a very welcome addition in my opinion. I'm really excited to use that. And it's also very cool to see the hot springs return. I remember that from The Sims 2, and I would have been really shocked if they had not included hot springs in a Japanese world. I mean, at the end of the day, they're basically in-ground hot tubs. I doubt they'll be any more, unique than that, really, just that it's in-ground and not above ground. So, yeah, it's nice that we're getting an in-ground version rather than just reusing the above-ground ones yet again, because we all know how that went over last time. Next is Create Your Sanctuary. Whether you prefer the traditional details or modern touches of Japanese-inspired furniture and decor, you can incorporate shoji doors, windows and screens, tatami mats, and more to design a home that complements your life. Take your shoes off at the Genkan entryway in the soft glow of paper lanterns overhead, or build your own rock garden outside. Not too much to say about this one. It's basically that you can make more authentic looking Japanese homes, but it is good that they included the ability to have Sims take their shoes off. It's kind of a funny coincidence how Paralives recently revealed that is going to be part of their house rules feature, so I'm sure people are going to be saying, oh, they're copying Paralives because Paralives revealed it first, but no, I think that is a coincidence. They said they've been working on this expansion pack since last year, so it was probably in the game long before we knew that Parallax was going to have that feature as well. This last part though, holy heck, this looks very intriguing. Define your lifestyle. Unlock new personality and relationship effects with the introduction of lifestyles and sentiments. Lifestyles manifest in response to your Sims' actions and habits, changing their behaviors appropriately. Similarly, shared experiences inspire sentiments and have a lasting impact on Sims' relationships to each other, affecting their social interactions. There was a separate press release. I'm not going to read over that one in full because it's pretty similar to the information that we're already going over in the rest of this video, but it did mention that for the lifestyles, there's exactly 16 of them. But finally, after much complaining from me, we are getting that personality overhaul. Not exactly what I was asking for, but looks like it could be a very interesting twist that is a little bit more original. Kind of like how I was like, oh, well, I want Generations, and I still do, but we ended up getting Parenthood, which was also, I think, a really good pack and an interesting twist on family-based gameplay. So hopefully we will still get romantic chemistry and the Fury systems from The Sims 2 or something pretty similar to that. But this looks like on its own terms could still be pretty good. What irks me though is that this is being promoted as a main feature of the expansion pack. This sounds like something that would go into the core game and therefore be given to everybody in a free update. So yeah, it's a little confusing, but I guess maybe it will be just like the reputation system where it was restricted to Get Famous. Though I think in that case it did make a little bit more sense since that's mostly designed with celebrities in mind. But with a personality overhaul like this, it seems very random to just throw this into a winter-themed pack. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, I suppose. But for now, I will keep an open mind about it, since this does seem like it will be something that will give The Sims more depth and not be as shallow. Now let's move on to the blog post. Hope you have ski boots and cold weather gear. The Sims 4 Snowy Escape Expansion Pack is sending a chill through the air on November 13th, 2020. We're heading to the Japanese-inspired world of Mount Komorebi, where high-energy snow sports and relaxing slow experiences present an array of new lifestyles to choose from. See you at the top of the mountain, Simmers! Get some air! Breathe in that fresh mountain air and start working on your Sims' rock climbing, skiing, and snowboarding skills. They'll want to level up if they ever intend to explore anything bigger than the easy practice courses. Once they've gotten the hang of it, take the gondola up to the bigger ski runs and the climbing routes to the peak. Even wipeouts look cool up there. Probably. But when Sims get really good, show off with a light-up board and the chicest snow gear. It's not just for adults either. Children can ski and snowboard on the less challenging trails, while parents take their toddlers sledding. It's snow fun for everyone. This sounds really good. I'm glad that skiing and snowboarding are also their own skills, because it does not look like there's going to be a new career in this expansion pack, so having more skills still helps give that sense of progression. And also the fact that it's not just for adults, that even the children can participate in this, and toddlers being part of the sledding activity too. We saw a child, but wow, even toddlers. I was just assuming they were going to be left out because that's basically just the standard for toddlers in The Sims 4 at this point. But it is good to hear that, yeah, even they can participate in the snow fun. I'm pretty curious about the light-up board because I remember in The Sims 3 with the Seasons expansion pack, we got the snowboarding half-pipe, and you could actually customize the snowboards. You could carry them around in your inventory. And with Create a Style, you could really customize them very well. And I remember I would spend a long time just customizing snowboards. I think there was one time I even just, for an hour straight, just customized the snowboard. Of course, we don't have Create a Style in The Sims 4, but I wonder how customizable the snowboards are this time. And hopefully custom content creators can make more snowboards with different designs, just like how we got umbrellas in Seasons and then people made more functional umbrellas with that. Then we have Cool Down. If your sim crashed a few too many times and they need to recover, lean into the slower parts of life in Mount Komorebi. Hit up the onsen bathhouse to soak your sim's problems and injuries away. Is there anything better than watching the steam rise into the cold night above after a long day? We didn't think so. Even the hiking trails just outside of town offer something new every time. Explore bamboo forest, pause to reflect at the graveyard, or visit the mountain temple with friends to get the full experience. Do remember to dress appropriately though. Depending on where you are, it sure can get cold here. But that won't matter if you don't have Seasons installed, right? Because, yeah, you could still have this pack without Seasons, so you shouldn't really have to worry about Sims getting cold, unless they're doing a special thing for non-Seasons owners where there could be temporary buffs for Sims getting cold if they're outside for way too long in the highest parts of the mountain or something like that. And that is interesting about the injuries. The Sims can get injured from the soccer activity in Discovery University. Not like just juggling the soccer ball, but just like the actual career thing in university. So it's probably just like that. Also interesting that they mentioned there's a graveyard. I'm assuming this is going to be like the pet graveyard in Brindleton Bay, where it's not an actual graveyard buildable venue. It's just something that is out in the public space that you can't edit. So I'm not expecting graveyards to be added as a full-on venue just yet, sadly. Maybe if we got Happy Haunts as a game pack or expansion pack, then that would happen. Build it up! Rent one of the vacation lots, or build your own home when you arrive in Mount Komorebi. Find inspiration all around town for your next project, whatever it is. New features like shoji doors, tile roofs, and tatami mats lean into the Japanese inspiration behind the pack, and going forward, you can also start playing with customizable platforms. But that's not all. Fill your home with both modern and traditional furniture options, and make sure to add a cozy kotatsu table for group meals like hot pot. Wow, just imagine if they just randomly shoved a couple of futuristic objects into this pack. That would have made no sense whatsoever. Outside, enjoy the harmony of this peaceful mountain environment. Add koi to your decorative fountains, and start a rock garden under the shade of Japanese maple trees. Whatever makes you happy. So, what's your snowy escape? The Sims 4 Snowy Escape expansion pack arrives on November 13th, 2020 at midnight in your region on Origin for Mac and PC, and at 10 a.m. Pacific time for Steam, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Pre-order it today to be first in line for the gondola. There is one thing I'm confused about with the whole aspect of being able to either rent a vacation lot or live in your own home in Mount Komorebi, because in the press release they say it's the first world in The Sims 4 to introduce both residential homes and rental lots for vacationers. So I would have thought if they were going to do this, they would patch it into all of the residential worlds so that you can basically vacation anywhere. But by the sounds of it, maybe this is still a vacation world, but it is a bit more of a hybrid than Granite Falls, Batu, and Selva Dorada. Customizable platform sounds like a very cool feature though. Reminds me of split leveling in The Sims 2. And also, whenever I think of this customizable platforms feature, I keep thinking of bands and how much I want them, because it just makes sense to go on a platform and perform with your bands. So hopefully next year we can finally get that. I've been wanting a bands pack for a long time. Lastly, we have a new render and 4 different screenshots to go through. So starting off with this render, I absolutely love this one. It might be one of my favorites. It just gives me those wholesome vibes that I need, especially in 2020. I gotta say though, it's pretty darn amusing seeing that table giving me the death stare. It looks like it is based off of the void critter Nymphea from Kids Room stuff, which, well, until Nifty Knitting Stuff came out, it was my favorite stuff pack, but I'm always happy to see more Void Critter references. Next, we have an exterior screenshot of a Japanese home. They did announce yesterday that they brought on Lil Simsy, Simlessy, Deligracy, and James Turner to do something for this pack, but I am thinking it's probably to make just some builds and characters. So I wonder which game changer built this one. But just before I started recording for this screenshot, I noticed a couple of interesting details because you can see there is a snowboard and a pair of skis on the ground. So that makes me think most likely we can put them in our Sims inventories just like we could with the snowboard in The Sims 3. And I also really love that sign on the far right there where I guess it's just pointing towards the ski slopes. And it's also interesting to see that some Sims here are making a snow pal, so I guess that feature is not being locked to just seasons. Oh, wait a minute, what if they're building an igloo instead and this is in the very early stages? I guess it could be that as well. Interesting. Next is an action shot of a snowboarder and a skier. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. She's doing some cool tricks and she's thinking about the mountain, and then there's a Sim in the background doing the pizza on skis. I actually tweeted about this screenshot earlier being like, oh cool, pizza. If you're a skier, you know exactly what I'm talking about because doing that sort of stance is basically a braking stance for beginners, and it's always called doing the pizza. And then when you're just skiing forward, it's French fries, since it's like two French fries near each other. Definitely reminds me of my early days as a skier. I was really bad at it. I kept hitting the fence towards the ski lift, and I would often just fall over to stop once I managed to slow down. And yeah, eventually I did get better at it to the point where I didn't have to do the pizza anymore. I could do the proper hockey stop. But yeah, it's really cool that they seem to have a decent amount of animations for the downhill sports. Next, we have a bathhouse with a hot spring, absolutely giving me those Zen vibes. Looking forward to just hanging out there after a long day on the slopes. There isn't too much for me to say about this, except for it is nice that we are getting another wall shower. We already got one with Discover University, but this looks like another variation of it. And I love the tiled wallpaper in the background too. It looks very cute. Lastly, we have this screenshot in front of a temple. The Sim thinking about traveling the world, I suppose. And the Sim getting attacked by a caterpillar and is like, oh no, an ant! While the kid cowers in fear next to him, and the Sim's like, oh, I gotta take a picture of this epic moment. There's also two girls wearing what appears to be school uniforms. One person already came to me saying, oh, what if this means that the next pack is going to be a high school pack? And I don't think that's the case. I think this is literally just something that gives more Japanese culture, Create a Sim assets into the game. And by the way, I forgot to mention, according to the press release, there's 130 Create a Sim items. I don't know exactly how many we usually get, but that still sounds like quite a lot. Maybe we will still get a high school game pack though. I could imagine that fitting pretty perfectly with September of next year, since that's usually around the time that we get a game pack anyway. So having a playable schools pack release during back to school season, at least for those of us in North America, where The Sims is made, it would make a whole lot of sense. But that's all I have on this expansion pack for now. So overall, I would say I am excited for Snowy Escape. Not super excited or claiming that this pack's gonna save 2020 for The Sims. I'm just moderately excited. I am looking forward to it. It does still have a little bit of a feeling like, oh, some of this content should have been in seasons, but with the Japanese world and this culture being integrated, I still think this has a fair shot of standing on its own, but I still need to see more and actually play with this pack for myself. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video. What do you think of Snowy Escape so far? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below. And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Paralive, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.